Hello, welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to do a very casual video today to kind of piggyback off of my 2020 goals and resolutions video. I made comments in that video about how I had intended to kind of achieve my goals because I've got a lot of really aggressive goals this year, and I had a couple of y'all reach out or like leave comments or DM me asking for like what books I was using, if I could expand on certain things, etc., etc. So I thought I would do a very like kind of chill take on this. So in that light, just take what you will from this. If this helps you, great. If it doesn't, that's fine. Everybody is different. I'm a very specific type of person to motivate, so I'm really self-motivated. I just need kind of guidance on stuff, and there were things I'm not very good at. So this year, the two biggest things I wanted to approach were time and like time management and how I approach time in the space of I need to get a lot done, but I also, whatever I'm doing, I want to be fully present in doing and not focused on the 75 other things I got to get done today. So that being said, I picked up the 12-week year and the 12-week year field guide. Full transparency, I haven't written in this yet, but I have started reading this, and I really like it. I will tell you, I am not somebody who needs to be coddled at all. I am not somebody who, like, I like real talk. I'm a big fan of, like, I have shit to do. I need, like, level with me, tell me what's up, tell me where I need to go. I don't like the woo-woo. I don't like, you know, the talk about like your soul and like, I don't like any of that, right? So I like this because it's just, I'm not even finished, and there's so much in this that I'm like, oh yeah, like it makes a ton of sense to me. So they basically, the 12-week year is you take 12 weeks and basically approach it like you would a year. And the whole science is you get more done in the fourth quarter than you do in the whole year, like in sales cycles and whatnot. So that part, yes. They use a lot of sports analogies and metaphors and stuff like that. But then the other thing that I think is interesting is it's purely a motivation thing. Like if you have the motivation, which I do, it's how do you approach time to match that? And that's exactly what I was looking for. So this is great because it really shows you how to reprogram your brain for time. So they say like a day is a week is a month, and a month is a year. Is that right? A day is, yeah, something to that effect. And then you get like a week off. So it builds in vacation, which is awesome. And then I'll tell you, I've modified it slightly because, like very slightly, because I have two major goals. One really is dependent on the first 6 months of this year. And then the other one is dependent on the entire year. So the entire year one is my business. I've got really aggressive goals for my business. And I have really aggressive goals for fitness. So my fitness is the first 6 months because I need to get my body back. Frankly, I'd like to get it back even better than it was, but I need to build up my endurance. I need to build up my strength again. I need my muscles, like all that kind of stuff. So I have been, that's been like my kind of approach to 2020 as I've broken it out. I have my umbrella goal of time, right? And then I've got my two major kind of facets of my life that I'm working on, fitness and health, and then business. Which again, these are massive, right? These are not like, I'd like to, no, these are huge goals that have a bunch of goals underneath them. So let's talk about how I approach, I'm going to be kind of all over the place on this. Let's talk about how I approach January. So January for me was the first month I've done it. My dad is still here. We've had a bunch of weird setbacks with health insurance because America, and he was basically kind of pushed into retirement because of what happened. So there's been like hiccups with that and roadblocks, and you know, there's things that occur that you need to account for but you need to account for them because they're positive, not negative, right? So it's like, I have to have I kind of call it healthy. I need to have a healthy and realistic goal in light of these unpredictable things that I need to be present for. And if anything affects that, it's not worth it. So there's like all of these little connectors in my brain around that, right? So like it's a priority of value and whatnot. So this is purely me. This is totally tailored to my problems. Interpret this and modify it at your will. But what I liked about this so far is it really does help you with managing your time. And if you only have 3 hours a week, then like, here's how to really carve that 3 hours out. Here's how to approach the day. Here's how to structure. Like, that is so helpful. And then, yeah. So I'm really pumped about this. Again, I haven't started writing this yet, but that's actually on my February thing, because January was really about fitness. So in light of like some of that stuff, I wanted to focus on something that I knew I could focus on, which was my diet and my fitness. So I made a goal of working out 4 times a week, and I made a goal of tracking every single day, like food. I don't always hit my ideal macros, but I'm doing pretty well. And I will tell you, I mentioned this in the vlog that I'm filming this week, because I'm doing weekly vlogs now. I mentioned this the other day. I am finally past that 3-week hiccup. So if you don't ever diet, but if you, I mean, like, do whatever you want. But if you are somebody who like is a lifestyle person where slow and steady wins the race, I've been here before. You know, like, you're not looking to lose like 8 pounds in 2 weeks. What is kind of inevitable, at least in my body type, is I don't see any progress for a while. And it's unmotivating and kind of gutting depending on who you are. But for me, I've been there before, so I kind of knew my muscles are swollen, I'm holding on to water, my body's in like, it's in that kind of purgatory stage. And it's okay, like, it's fine. And so this week I really started to see, because I hadn't lost like anything. I was like yo-yoing the same like pound basically. And like, that's totally normal and healthy. And so this week I noticed a drop, like a pretty good drop. And I was like, oh, my body's fine. But then I noticed the drop on the scale, and then I noticed that I felt like I wasn't holding on to as much. I didn't feel as swollen. And like, my water is moving quicker. My muscles are responding quicker. Like, I'm starting to get my mojo back, right? And it's like, my body's like, oh, that's right. That's what we do. Okay. So it's kind of like I'm in that week or two right now. And it's great because I'm starting to see progress on the scale. I mean, not a ton, but some, which is normal. And then my measurements, I'm seeing reductions, which is fantastic. So especially considering I'm 3 weeks in, I measure every week. So at 3 weeks, I had lost an inch and a half of my waist already, which is like amazing. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah. So in terms of goal setting updates for 2020, the big one that has a more aggressive time frame on it is what I have ranked as highest priority for January, if I could like focus on one thing, and that was my fitness, diet, kind of overall health and well-being category. And I crushed it. I'm doing so great. So I'm very happy. So then my business goals, that's a lot more longer term. It's a lot more fluid. There's also a lot of unknown around a lot of this stuff, because I run a company, and I am my company. I'm the only employee. So any interaction that you have with my business is coming from me. But my entire business is based on not selling you anything. So I am the opposite of marketing. I am all education. But the difference is my elevator pitch has always been, have you ever just wished someone would tell you what to buy? That is literally what my company is. I have an hour-long conversation with you. We talk about a ton of stuff. We talk about all kinds of factors that, you know, really do factor in to the efficacy of skin, to what your body really needs, what your skin really needs, why you could be reacting to certain things, price points, bad product. I mean, there's a whole slew of things that go into it. And so that's what I do, is I coach you and I give you recommendations. I build your routine and everything based on what you want, your budget, your goals, da 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 da. But at the same time, I'm not directly selling you anything. So I send you a PDF within like 72 hours of the call, and then you do what you want. If you want to buy them, great. If you don't. It's not my place. But I'm giving you the information, and I'm answering a ton of questions, and I'm giving you some really, quite frankly, like super valuable guidance on what's what and what's marketing. And, you know, water is a chemical. So if you say, I don't want chemicals in my skincare, you need to put an avocado on your face. Like stuff like that. Like it's a huge gamut that I run. But it's important because nobody's doing that. In the industry, you are noticing a massive decrease in education roles. They are dramatically lowering the priority on training and education. I totally understand why stores are like struggling, because you go into a store wanting help and they don't know how to help you because there aren't effective education roles anymore. They don't have an EDU lead anymore at Sephora's. The reps are only there to sell. They can't train because they don't prioritize training. I mean, it's a whole thing. So it sets you up for failure if you go in on your own. And on top of that, they're pushing because they have sales goals. Every hour they have a sales goal. So for me, it's removing all of that, but it's also putting in I have a ton of certifications. I've worked with a bunch of brands, and I'm real good at this. So it's me kind of utilizing all of my experience, my background, having run education and sales, to help you. But the problem with me is I don't know how to market that, right? Like, I fully admit this. I am not good at marketing. I don't enjoy it. It doesn't make me happy. So something that I bought to help me with that is the marketing playbook. I haven't started reading it yet, but this book was recommended to me, and I bought this, and I bought her book, Your Best Year Ever. It's the final draft. It's like a workbook. I bought this. I've heard this is the business edition. I've heard really good things about this. I like a workbook. I like something I can write in. But yeah, so this is kind of my February, goal. But I wanted to give you guys an update on that, and just to kind of give you to hold myself accountable, right? Because like we discussed accountability before, so I wanted to kind of follow up on that. And then I got asked a lot on Instagram, because I post not all, but a lot of my Peloton workouts. So I say show up every day. So a lot of you guys are holding me accountable to it, which is amazing. And I'm going to kind of expand on that throughout the year, because I think it's such a valuable phrase to use when you're just kind of having a slow day. What can you do to show up today? Or does your body need you to take a break? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I totally get it. So how can you show up for yourself that day that isn't necessarily fitness, right? Maybe take a rest day. I don't know. Live your life. But anyway, so I had gotten some questions about what planner I use, what journals I use, and whatever. So I thought I would show you. I have used this planner now for years. I buy one every year. It's the Day Designer. I get this guy. I like black and gold, so I will always buy this. I don't like words all over it. I don't like flowers. I don't like bows, and I just hate all that crap. So I like this because it's, I'll show you a page here. I'll just show you some random page. This is March 11th. It's totally plain. I like this because the month, this is big too. It's I've got a pretty small hand, but like, that's awesome. And then something I like about it is it's got, if you are super goal oriented, you're gonna love this. It's got a today's top 3, so your top 3 goals for the day. You're like non-negotiables, I gotta get this done. I love using this as a measure of showing up today. So if I get this done, I'm happy, I'm proud of myself when I go to bed at night. That is super motivating. Things that are due, dinner, dollars, don't forget your to-do list, the daily gratitude. So sorry, daily gratitude, and then notes. So I typically been dragging a line down some of these days and putting like my liters of water to check. There's also a schedule. I tend to not use this. I tend to use this and drag over my to-do list. But whatever. My schedule I keep on my phone, and I'll put like meetings and stuff on my to-do list because I really need the satisfaction of checking stuff off. But I keep it on my phone because I need to edit it a lot, and I like crossing things out. It's just too messy for me to look at. I'm really visual, so I can't do that. There's too many there's too much movement throughout my day. So no. But I keep it on my phone, that way if I just delete it and like move it, that kind of hurts less than saying all that crap. Yeah. And then the other thing is I'll forecast. I'm a big forecaster. So like I will plan out today, tomorrow, I'll plan out the next week, right? Like that, I have to do that. So I will literally sit here first thing in the morning after I get my coffee, and I'll sit down and that's what I do. Like, what are my goals? What do I need to achieve? How do I plot out my time to accommodate that, to make sure that happens? And then I have non-negotiable things. I have shit I have to get done, and I will do it down to like the 10-minute increment. Like, I don't care. So yeah, so I tend to keep those schedules on my phone though, that way I can modify it as necessary and it hurts less, like I said. But something else I do is this is a 2020 thing. I'm keeping journals. And I'm keeping journals for, I'm not going to show you this because I've got like inches and weight and stuff, but as my tracker for weight loss, inches, how I'm feeling, stuff like that. I started the year thinking I was going to do it every day, and pretty quickly realized I don't have the time to do this every day, because this hair is driving me nuts. I was literally tracking like, how did I sleep? How am I feeling? Because I like the idea of monitoring that, but writing that down every single day, I truly either don't remember to do it. I'm too far along in my day to remember, or, you know, just too many variables, right? So I'm just a little too busy to track that. I think if you maybe had less of a chaotic life, that's awesome to track. I kind of wish that were in my planner. But to freehand in a journal, I just don't have the time for it. So however, I will tell you, the reason I started doing this was because I am terrible at remembering the little things, and I'm very bad at that. Like, it's awful. I tend to totally forget what happened, right? Because I'm so focused on present or what's ahead. And I wanted to be able to reflect back and go, oh, that's right. Or, oh my God, I did that. Just stuff like that, right? Just things to make you kind of remember just how much you hustle, how hard you work, good days that aren't like banner good days that define your life, but just good days. I need to get better at that. But that is not something that I can do every single day, right? Like, I just can't. Or if I can, I'm just not there right now. So maybe another time, but currently, no. So it is something though that I like. You know, it's funny. Something I like about this book is it teaches you how to pivot quickly, or it teaches you not how to, but like basically gives you permission to pivot fast, you know, which I like. So I have got a couple of like fitness goals around like time frames, and I like that because I'm like, well, if this isn't working, I'll pivot, or I'll do this, or I'll do that, or whatever. So in the spirit of pivoting, I pivoted on this, and instead of doing it every day, I'm doing it like once or twice a week, and I think I can manage that. Yeah, and then the other thing is, to that point actually, is the weekly vlogging. I have not been very good at it. I've managed to get them up, but picking up a camera every day like I did during Vlogmas is hard when you don't have daily deadlines like I did with Vlogmas. Like, that's just a weird thing to, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have that output metric. So it's tough, but I have to get better at that, but it's not my top two priorities, right? So that's the thing, right? Those are my two. My third is, I mean, obviously my first is my family, but then health and fitness and business stuff. I wanted to kind of speak to this because it is towards the end of January. We've got like a week left in the month, and I read somewhere that like some crazy high percentage of people have already given up on their resolutions like 2 weeks in or 2 to 3 weeks in. And I kind of wanted to time this video with that, but not too much later. Like I didn't want to do like March, because I wanted to come on here and teach kind of, and not even teach, I wanted to kind of give you the permission to pivot if you have in fact maybe slacked off on your goals or your resolutions. Like every day is not gonna be flawless, but you can show up every day and you can do 3 little things every day, right? Something to move. I have a friend of mine that says this to me: move the needle forward. Just get the needle in the right direction every day. And then somebody I watched said at one point, if you every day you get 1% better, in a year you'll be 365% better. And that's such a kind of, okay, but it is impactful, you know? And then if the other thing is, if you really want to get a fire lit underneath your ass, read this. This book is great. They're really good because I like straight talk, and I'm a very scientific person, so I like clinical, fact-based, like you know what I mean? Like, so I like that they do a lot of research, but they're very no nonsense. Like that's exactly how I am. So I really enjoy that. But I also wanted to show you that like you can have a bunch of things going that function in different ways, but they talk to each other, because at least for me, how my brain works, I need to data dump a lot. I have a lot of things. I have so much going on all the time that I need my planner. So I've got it written down, because there's something in my brain where if I write it down in ink, these are my pens. These are the Pen pens, the LE space PEN. You can get them off Amazon. These are great. If I write it down though, it just sticks with me. And if I don't get to check it off, it kind of pings inside, right? So I don't love that feeling. So it is motivating. But then I need something that is more fluid, which is where my phone comes in. And then I need help, which are where these workbooks and these books come in. And then I have the things that are new that I'm kind of trying out to see if they add value to my life, I'll put it that way. And that's where this comes in. So you can have multiple things going as long as they serve you and make you better. But then also, if something's not working, pivot. You know, it's okay. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you got like something out of it. I know it's kind of really specific and niche, but I had read that thing the other day about the people stopping with the resolutions. And I remember my first thought was, oh my God, I'm so proud of myself, because I've been able to make it work with all of the moving pieces in my life and with, you know, really aggressive goals. And I'm just under a month in, and I'm still super motivated. I haven't lost any gusto. You know, I'm maybe not hitting them to the degree that I'm hitting them, but I'm showing up, and that needle is in fact moving. That just hold on to that with all you got, right? Like you need to remember that. So yeah, I wanted to speak specifically to that, because I think it's really important to remind yourself that especially if you're like on social media and just, I'm having to watch TV a lot right now because I need to, believe it or not, pop culture directly affects my job. So I need to pay attention to what is like trendy, not for my own self, but for clients. And I'm like watching this and I'm thinking to myself, like, it is so easy to get caught up in that and not into your own life. It's so easy to become like 100% of a consumer and not a creator, right? Or like having to find that balance between the two things and kind of reconcile the values. That's trickier. So I don't know how often I'm going to do these videos, but I thought at least this one would be a value, because I want to A, tell you that you're not the only person that's kind of like, oof, but also B, like, show up every day. Just show up every day. And you don't have to run a marathon every day, but you show up. You know, just do something. Do something I said in the other video that I always think about. Make yourself proud. Like, I got a text message a couple of days ago, maybe 2 days ago now, from a recent client. And she was just so sweet. And she was like thanking me. And she's like, you have no idea. And I like almost cried. And I posted some of it on Insta stories. And I was sharing it with my family. And I was like, this is what I'm talking about. This is the thing that makes me proud. This is what makes me the most proud in my life, is the effect that I have, the value that I provide for my clients. That is an evergreen, golden feeling that I never, ever, 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 ever want to not feel. And it motivates me so much to show up and to try harder and to push harder and to learn how to do things I'm not good at. Because if I can add value to somebody's life and they just don't know I exist, I'm not doing something that's inherently selfish. I need to get them aware, basically, right? You can opt in or out of anything. That's the hardest thing for my brain to understand. So yeah, so I wanted to speak to that, and also just to let you know that, like, you know, accountability, and it's a conversation and it's a flow. So if you're having a tough day or two and you're like, oh my God, or maybe you gave up already, just get back at it. It's not over yet. You are very new into the year still. You can figure it out. But yeah, hopefully this helped, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.